My name is Asturias. I work at the Lawrence School of Science, the Science Center of the University of California in Berkeley. And lately I've been helping teachers meld mathematics and English language development. So mathematics and English language development is what I'm planning to talk to you about. Is this on? Right. So why is it important? Well, I think that without the mathematics, the language of the mathematics, we don't have access, and it's an issue of equity for students. So we need to do that, and let's see how it looks like. So you have a problem to solve. In the next 15 seconds, solve that problem. Tell your neighbor what the answer is. More important, tell your neighbor what the question is. Well, maybe that, B, okay. Maybe that's not long enough. Let me give you some help. You have 15 more seconds. Tell each other about what do you understand anything of that?
It's like I'm traveling.
You know, this is the experience that many of our English language learners go through in our classrooms, particularly if they're beginning to learn the language. So how did you feel? Did you feel that you had access to the language, access to the problem, access to the mathematics? Probably not, right? So, but I think that you might have seen some things that are familiar. So it seems to go from left to right, from top to bottom. You probably saw in the red some cognates, some words that sound like the ones we use in English. You saw capital letters at the beginning of sentences, periods that end those sentences. But still, if we don't have access to the language, if we were learning mathematics in Tagalog, we probably don't know what the problem is. Here's a version that may be easier for you to understand. If we were learning mathematics in Tagalog, we might have missed that the last sentence says the distance around the corral, going around the corral 3 times. So it's important to have the language, right? So, you know, I have many teachers that said, I'm a math teacher, I'm not a language teacher. And I say to them, think again. Where are the students going to learn the language of mathematics if it's not in the language, in the classroom of mathematics? So we have to teach the language, and we have to do it with precision. You know, the Common Core Standard 6 talks about precision, and we need to think about what does that mean? How do we help students? So think about a teacher that's saying, if you draw that picture and you have thirds, equal parts, and ask students to draw their own representation of it, and if the student produces that picture on the right, then what happened? What went wrong? What's the student thinking? Well, the student may be thinking that equal means equal widths, right? But whose precision are we talking about? The teachers, the students? Here's another example. What's the difference between 11 and 6? 11 has 2 numbers, 6 has only 1. 11 is straight, 6 is curly. Maybe that's not what we... If what we intend them to do is to compute 11 minus 6, maybe those are not the more precise questions to ask, right? Take 73 from 93 as many times as you can. I get 86 every time. So we need to think about how is it. We need to think about how is it that we're asking those questions and how precise are we. But why is English so hard? Think about these things. After a number of injections, mayor and number, up to 40% discount and more. I could not disagree with you less. Have you heard things like this? This is plain English, right? Here's a few other examples. I personally feel better. I don't know how to impersonally feel better. But we use all these things that are almost contradictory. Look at the last one, final ultimatum. When is an ultimatum not final? When you give it to 8th graders, as a teacher will tell me. You know the guinea pigs are neither from Guinea nor are they pigs? There's no egg in eggplant, nor ham in hamburger. If a vegetarian eats vegetables, what does a humanitarian eat? I spent last evening out, a pile of dirt. Let me look at even for a little bit more. The floor is even, the picture is even with the window. The sleep provides even rhythm to our breath. Look sick and felt even worse. These are all social registers, so everyday language meanings of the word even. Here are a few more. The dog has an even temperament. If we divide equally, we'll be even. Ignite, so simple, a child can do it. Even a child can do it, right? You have to learn all these meanings of even just in the everyday language. And then guess what? We use it in math, right? Oh, wait, a few other ways in which we use even. Got even, to be even out, break even, not even Steven. So if you're a beginner learner of English, you have to learn all these meanings in plain English, and then we use it in mathematics to mean number. Even numbers is a mathematical idea, a mathematical concept, right? But then we convey other ideas, like even amounts, or an exact amount, an even pound. So those are two mathematical ideas, but with even as a everyday language word. So we, mathematics teachers, must teach the language of mathematics in order to give students, especially English learners, access to mathematics. And we must do that deliberately, intentionally, with attention to precision. Thank you.